Chicago woman was arrested by federal agents here today and was accused of running a nationwide computer and credit card fraud ring. And Mike Jackson is here to tell us about that story. Mike?
Floyd, it's a case that broke here in Chicago on a tip from a company in Rolling Meadows that part of its computer system had been taken over by hackers using the telephone lines. Now the government says the hackers were teenagers, led by the adult who was arrested here this morning.
The Secret Service started its investigation last February and executed 7 search warrants today, seizing computers and records which they allege are the backbone of a nationwide computer fraud conspiracy. The only federal arrest was in Chicago at this North Ashland Avenue apartment building. Agents say 35-year-old Lynn Doucette was the only adult in the hacker network, and she was the leader. All the rest were teenagers. The complaint says teen hackers coordinated their efforts through Chicago from Atlanta, Columbus, Detroit, Los Angeles, and Boston. The Secret Service says they hacked their way into private businesses' voicemail systems, took them over, and used them to store stolen credit card numbers. The teenagers were not charged with federal crimes. They were turned over to local authorities. The hackers all had code names. One of them, in Detroit, called himself the Untouchable. Other teenagers in other cities adopted names like Outsider, Cyclops, Little Simon, Stingray, and even the FBI agent. He was wrong. It's not the FBI, but rather the Secret Service, which investigates credit card fraud. As many as 21 stolen credit card account numbers, according to warrants in Detroit. As much as $200,000 worth of cash and services allegedly stolen from Visa, MasterCard, American Express, and Discover accounts. Even more allegedly stolen from regional Bell telephone companies and MCI and Sprint. Stolen account numbers being used to charge as much as $1.5 million worth of telephone services. Authorities are still adding up the damage.
And the investigation is not over. The U.S. Attorney's Office says as many as 50 other people may have been participating in the network. If they are teenagers, will they go free? Not necessarily. The first computer fraud verdict in the country was about 6 to 8 months ago here in Chicago, and the teenage perpetrator went to prison.
Floyd? Thank you, Mike. There is thunder.